I'm glad to have you tune in to another educative, informative, and insightful episode of AAU Talks, the voice of higher education in Africa. My name is Ajiman Ochredako, and today we're discussing how the terrain of higher education is evolving within the African space, particularly within the Kenyan higher education space, zooming into the great Strathmore University. And with me today is one great figure from the university to share with us some of the aims and scopes and goals, achievements, and a lot more that you want to hear from this person and our university. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. Welcome back. If you just joined us, it's AAU Talks, the voice of higher education in Africa. My name is Ajiman Ochredako, and I told you about who our guest for today is. He is the Registrar of the great Strathmore University, the person of Mr. Stephen Nganga. Steve, you're welcome to AAU Talks.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Great. Great. How's Ghana been so far for you?
Fantastic.
Interesting.
Weather is lovely. It's warm. Nairobi was very cold when I was
Splendid.
living there, so I've enjoyed my stay.
Splendid. You're welcome to the AAU studios as well.
Thank you.
And today, we're giving everybody out there that benefits to appreciate how things are turning out within the Kenyan higher education space. We haven't had that time to have that dialogue to experience how things are going so we can learn and share experiences. So you being here, you will share with us a whole lot more so they can also appreciate and learn from you, from your case study. So let us start with the very first one on the Kenyan higher education space. We understand that Africa's higher education trajectory has not been free of challenges. We've had bits and pieces of challenges here and there. What is the storyline for the Kenyan higher education space, and zooming into the role that Strathmore is playing to curb these challenges?
Thank you very much. As I said, Strathmore University is a private university in Nairobi. Was chartered in 2008, so we are 14 years old, although the institution has been in the country since 1961.
Splendid.
Your question is timely, given the fact that in Kenya at the moment, the biggest conversation is on funding. How do we fund higher education? And the government is in the last 1 year has tried to change the funding model, and there is a feeling in the general population that that funding model is making university education very expensive.
Okay.
In fact, to the extent that the costs come very close to what private institutions are charging. And that is really a concern. In fact, when I was living in Nairobi on Sunday, there was supposed to be street demonstrations by university students for it. So funding is a big thing. Of course, us as a private university, we depend on funds. We depend on fees. But we have mechanisms which we have put in place to try and raise and make it accessible to study in Strathmore. One is to every student has a pay plan. Depending on how a student has performed, some students get discounts. We have family rebates, sibling rebates, that is. We have a robust financial aid office which takes care of the 5% budgetary allocation that the university allocates to student financial aid. So in a nutshell, the university is aware, is sensitive to this, and in line with the core values that we have. One of the core values is personalized attention. We try to give every family that attention and ensure that they're able to access the university. And also they see the value of the money, because when you come to the campus, we invest that money in the campus to make sure that the student experience is awesome. So yeah, the question of funding is big. The other question in the higher education now in the country is a question of access. Well, whereas there are many universities, there are questions around quality and quality assurance related issues. And that is definitely impacting on access, because people start asking, should I take my child to that university, and then they come out, They don't look like they know anything. So that is it. And of course, the other question we have, which I have alluded to before in our separate conversations, is the question of faculty, getting good faculty, because there's a flight. Good faculty are snapped into other places.
We call it brain drain
Yeah,
agenda.
more or less, it's like brain drain, and especially when you have people in the STEM, women in the STEM, especially if you have a lady in PhD, and she's in the mathematics, engineering spaces, you can't get them. And then IT professionals are very expensive, so to teach good computer science, robotics, and stuff like that, it's quite a headache. You really have to work arrangements. So as a university, we work arrangements with other universities, faculty from other universities, and try tailor make our calendar in such a way that you can get adjunct fellows who come in and teach for you. That way, you're able to keep running the programs, and occasionally also try and organize student trips to universities abroad for a short visit, and therefore they're able to get contact with those kind of people. That's how we're trying to address that question of quality, because it's also a big question in Kenya.
Interesting. Strathmore has set itself apart in so many ways, and it looks really differentiated with its value it gives. What exactly are these value nuggets that set Strathmore apart from other universities in Kenya?
The philosophy of the university is very coherent, in the sense that we believe that students learn both in class and out of class. So one is, we have invested in an ecosystem that if somebody walks into that campus, they learn something, they pick something, they feel something is different here, and I need to act different. So from a basic thing like, we have a dress code, we expect our students to dress professionally. From when they go to the cafeteria, they have to clear up themselves. We have working classrooms, technologies, and so that ecosystem first is very important. We believe that without that ecosystem, you will not be able to impact on the social skills, social values that you're looking for. Then the second thing, as I mentioned in the earlier conversation, is we really working hard to have good faculty, well trained faculty, and faculty who are at the edge of things, so that they are able to teach with practicality. Of course, I wouldn't say we are the best, but there is a conscious effort to first of all get more fellows at PhD level, and then integrate industry experience into teaching. So these are the things we are trying to make focus. And then lastly, of course, as a university, we cap our class sizes so that we can manage to meet we can have the optimal class size. So in Strathmore, a standard class, it's no more than 80 students. If the class goes beyond 80 students, then we have to split that class and create another class. And that is in an attempt to give personalized connection with the students with faculty, because when you have a class of 100, 120, then it becomes impossible for the faculty to engage with the students at close range. So those are some of the things we do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
To take a cue back 5 years ago, we'll take it from when COVID invasion came. Africa began to realize the importance of online distance education, e-learning, and a whole lot of things, because now physical learning was difficult. Today, we want to find out from the Strathmore point of view, what has been your technology integration in learning and teaching index, and also your story with COVID and how you were able to pull it through.
That's a very good story. It's amazing. I was there in 2020. So COVID in our country was the first case was reported on 14th of March of 2020, and then so the president came and said, "Okay, guys, we have we have this problem. It is here. All institutions have to close in 1 week." So in 1 week time, we were in the middle of exams. Our academic year was coming to an end. Our academic year ends in March.
Okay.
So our exams were interrupted. in the last week. So there are about 3 days to the end of exams. We were preparing to receive our freshmen in a week's time. The following week, because they finished exams, the following week was orientation of freshmen. So we had to delay that. But the COVID experience buttressed something that we had already started in 2014. Accidentally in 2014, we came up with an idea of a laptop for every student who comes to the university.
Great.
So every first year would come in, and part of the fees would work with the manufacturers. We were working with some of the laptop manufacturers,
Okay.
and they would buy the laptops, we'd lease the laptops, and pay in three or 4 semesters.
Okay.
Repay back. So all our students, basically on campus, everyone had a gadget. So it was very easy to just say, okay, fine, we are moving online. We trained people on that time. It was Skype. Of course, it was very rudimentary. Nothing was developed. But within 2 or 3 weeks, we discovered that Zoom is a place. So we bought Zoom licenses. And then we also worked with the biggest telecom company in the country called Safaricom to come up with a data bundle that only was useful for academic purposes. Okay. So if a students bought that, so we were part of the fees of the students, because they were not on campus, the university would buy the bundles of particular bandwidth, and the students will only access Strathmore related sites, so the Zoom and all that. So we within 2 weeks, the university managed to move online, and everything was online from that point. So our graduation of 2020 was not affected. Fellows graduated on time. Those who joined, in fact, the students who joined, the first years who were supposed to join that week, in 3 weeks they joined, and they are the ones who graduated last month. They graduated last month, so within time. So, and from then on, we have now moved our teaching to blended. So we have 2 hours of physical class where you come, you meet your faculty, you are with others, but then you have 1 class which is virtual. So just to keep that. And even when we were having these disruptions a few months back of Gen Zs, and they were and everybody was getting worried about safety, we couldn't go to town and all, because we are in a location that is quite active, we would just move our classes online, and life continues. So that is a very success story. And now we have even now moved more. We discovered which better tools. We've improved our training of staff on technologies. So it's infused. It's part and parcel of the university. Even meetings, even working meetings, sometimes people are around and they meet online. They're in the same campus, because probably you don't have a boardroom to meet, and say, no, let's meet online. You're in your office and my office, and somebody else and somebody else and somebody else joins from wherever they are. So even it's possible, even when I'm here, I could easily join a meeting in Nairobi and say, okay, what time is meeting? And they join, and I'm out of the country. So technology is infused completely.
That's amazing. This just I guess a glimpse of what we hear from the KN space, higher education space, and also the Strathmore effects within the KN environment. Let's go for a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about some of the achievement in research, teaching and learning, also community engagement. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hello Africa is a live breakfast show that aims to give you, our viewers, an informative, entertaining, and energizing start to your day. This isn't just another news show. It takes the form of vibrant magazine packed with news reviews, lifestyle features, engaging interviews, and interactive segments that put you at the center of the action.
All you have to do is grab your coffee, get comfortable, and join us for the Hello Africa morning show. We are here to kickstart your day with the news and stories that matter to you, alongside all the fun and inspiration we crave.
Every morning, join us for
the latest headlines in African higher education, science, and
quick and informative newspaper and online news review.
Lifestyle tips on fitness, nutrition, fashion, and beauty.
Inspiring interviews with influential figures and everyday heroes.
Performances and interactive contests, and so much more.
In Ethiopia, Salam Africa.
In North Africa,
Alan Afrikia.
In Swahili, Jambo Afrika.
Tune in every Monday from 8 a.m. to 10 o'clock GMT. Join us to make it a fantastic day together.
Hello, Africa, your daily connection to the continent.
Are you a researcher or an innovator making a difference in Africa and Europe? The SIA Project invites you to share your success story and join a movement dedicated to sharing best practices, bridging knowledge gaps, inspiring others, fostering collaboration. Share your story now and be recognized, celebrated, connected with global network of researchers and innovators. For more information and to submit your story,
explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa. You're welcome back on AAU Talks, the voice of higher education in Africa. And with me is Mr. Stephen Nganga, Registrar for the Strathmore University in Kenya. And we were talking a whole more about the Strathmore contribution to the Kenyan socio-economic development as far as the higher education space is concerned. It is a responsibility and a duty mandate given by government to universities to advance the teaching and learning and also community engagement, where that area calls for research that is community imbibed, community induced, community focused, oriented, researchers that are able to transform societies. And the question comes to Strathmore: how have you made achievements in your researches that has had impact on the regular or ordinary Kenyan's life and also the Kenyan socio-economic development?
Thank you. So we at Strathmore, research and innovation is a key pillar. It's a very important pillar, and the university is spending time and energies to try and drive it. A couple of things that we have done in that space that are impactful. One, for example, we are the only university, I think, in sub-Saharan Africa that runs on solar. So we have solar.
Massive.
We invested in solar, and in fact, we produce more power that some of it is sold to the national grid. And of course, out of that solar, we have a solar research consortium, which takes care of training of artisans and people who are involved in solar installations. We have trained more than 2,000 persons in the solar space. So that is something that is big. We are at the moment have signed up a partnership with a university in Australia. We work in some Australian universities to develop the whole idea of hydrogen, producing energy from hydrogen. So this is in an effort to bring out the idea we have of research for impact, because we believe that research should have some impact and impact to the community. Then we also have the whole idea of family research into family studies. Of course, we understand that the families are very dynamic and all that, and through that, we've been able to influence the national policy on families. We have that. Then our law school has been running out of their own research, found out that court cases sorry, court cases take long in the country. And one way of solving some of those disputes is mediation. So out of that, the law school has been running clinics and training of mediators, people who can do mediation and are connected to the judiciary, and that way they take out many of the cases, some of the cases that can be handled through mediation without necessarily going through the court process. So that's another thing. Then we have some research centers in technology, iLab Africa, where iLab Africa works with government to develop systems, to automate systems, to help government and non-government agencies to develop systems that can automate their processes and make the service delivery easy. And through that, also facilitate fellows who are doing their PhDs, because then their PhDs make sense or are connected to the projects. And of course, we're also working with government to improve, to digitize procurement process. You know, procurement is a big monster in many places. So iLab Africa also tries to do that. We have an Institute of Healthcare Management. We don't have a medical school yet, but it's in the plan, it's in the pipeline. But the Institute of Healthcare Management is also doing a lot of research and also research into healthcare systems and training healthcare managers. We discover that, I don't know whether in this part of West Africa, whether it's the same, but in East Africa, you have professionals. People are trained as professionals. A doctor is trained as a doctor, or a teacher is trained as a teacher. But then they go to an institution and they are made the ones in charge to manage. And you've never been trained to manage a hospital. So you don't know anything about the law of employment, how to ensure things are running.
So you have these professionals who are managing institutions.
Yes.
Okay.
So Institute of Healthcare Management focuses on doctors who are running facilities and giving them out training in that. And of course, there's research that has also been coming out of that work, and with funding from different sources, including NIH. So research is big, and it's a space, and that's why when I was talking about the need for PhDs and our worry for losing PhDs is because how do you drive research without PhDs?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, beyond this feeling, you also have Strathmore, highly reputable for ethical leadership and governance. And the question is, how are these great qualities shaping your academic programs, and how you appeal to the Kenyan society to bring their awards to university, to bring their awards to Strathmore for that kind of training?
Yeah, one of our core values is ethical leadership, and we live in a country, that part of our world, where questions around ethics are significant.
Yeah.
We have a problem with ethics, use of especially when you're using public funds or public resources. There's a problem. Yeah. So one, as a university, in our undergraduate programs, our undergraduate program is a generalist program, in the sense that the students are exposed to a wide range of things. So you don't have a student just coming to study marketing. If you come to study marketing, you will do some philosophy, you will do some ethics classes, you will do community service, you will do industry attachment and all that, because the idea is that we know we are preparing you for the workplace or for industry. So the question of ethics is key. So from a curriculum point of view, anyone studying in Strathmore will have courses that touch on ethical behavior. Then secondly, of course, as an institution, we are reputed for being an institution that doesn't participate in unethical conduct. So whereas people say, okay, we want to bribe or you want to treat, no, we try to do things above board. Of course, sometimes it delays action, but the truth of the matter is that, yes, even the behavior of the leadership, we try to make sure that ethical standards are maintained. Issues around examinations integrity, certificate integrity, recruitment process, ensuring that the things we are saying in class or teaching students are being felt in the institution. The way you handle disputes, the way you handle disciplinary processes, that the ethical standards are maintained. Is it ethical? Is it the right thing? And people's spaces are respected, because then people will feel it, that it's true. This institution means what they are saying.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing. Of course, on governance, we try to interact with organizations also, and infuse this idea that, look, it's okay, it's right, it's a right thing to act ethically. And of course, if you find yourself in a situation where you have to act in an unethical manner, then you have to think twice about it. Yeah.
You've initially mentioned how Strathmore has created the accessibility drive to help parents and guidance to get their children to school the very way possible, through your fee structuring and also gadgets provision and a whole lot more. So you're really doing your best to create accessibility for everybody.
Yes.
How about creating that end goal, which is the end game of the university, is to help you acquire a better job or create a better job to help people get jobs? How is Strathmore helping students to find that their way out of the job market through their programs and partnerships and collaborations within the industrial setting?
That's a very good question. Yeah, it's a key aspect of the institution, right? Even before it became a university, that idea of placing student. So right from the beginning, there was a placement office where employers would make requests and say, look, I'm looking for somebody like this. Can you send me CVs and stuff like that? So in the university, this is a major plank in the student experience. We're talking about what we call it graduate destination. Why graduate destination? Because there are students who will finish and want to go out and do masters or proceed for further studies. There are students who will leave and go into entrepreneurship and run their own businesses. And then there are those students who will go into employment. So we call it, when you come to Strathmore, we don't call it employability, we call it graduate destination. We ask, where are our students going?
Great.
And in all those spaces, we're making effort to improve the services. So we have a career development services, a unit that looks at the development, that coordinates the activities, checks with employers or partners who, if they want to run an advert, they want to run a career fair in the university, that office is the one organizes, and the students have a chance. If a company wants to recruit, they can come to the university and set up a tent, and they will get students and interview the students, and the facilitation is done. The career development office also tries to train students on the other skills that are needed. So students want to know, if I'm going for an interview, how should I do things? So they're training them on mock interviews, training them on CV writing, and personal grooming if you're going for an interview and stuff like that. So there's that. But we are even making, but also in our curriculum, a student cannot graduate without work-based learning.
Okay.
So in the third year, our undergrad programs is 4 years. So in the third year, at the end of third year, all students must be attached in an organization related to their area of study. And that is for 8 weeks. So basically, this, and then we will go to the place. So if a student was attached here in AAU, let's say in your IT department, then the faculty of IT will come, ask you, how is a student? What did you find? Was a student technically competent? Was he ethically competent? How was his social skills? And if he doesn't pass, he has to repeat that, because you cannot graduate without it. So, and that allows us to build partnerships with organizations, because then if the student is working in an organization, our faculty will go there and they will check what is happening. So it's a very important aspect. Of course, the area that we are now working to improve is the area of entrepreneurship, and see how do we make those students who come in and want to be entrepreneurs and are running their own businesses, how they are supported. Of course, we have an incubator. Some of the businesses have been taken through the incubator. and I mean, and are out there successful. But we can make that space a lot better. It needs a lot of refinement. But it's a wonderful thing to watch quite a number of businesses that were started by students right on the campus there, and now they are out. So one of the things we do to promote that is any student, the university organizes what we call market days. Occasionally, I mean, every semester there's a market day, and then that market day, all the students who have all manner of businesses are given an opportunity to bring their business on campus and make their sales on campus, and be able to get to know what is happening with their businesses. And some of the businesses are growing. Just to show the students that, look, that thing you're doing on the side is not a bad thing. Bring it on. Let's buy from you. Let's promote you.
That sounds refreshing.
Yeah.
I wish I was on your campus to see how the market day
Yeah.
looks like, and
Yeah.
inviting students to bring what they're doing on the side to the university front. I think it's been a great discussion thus far. And I believe you also had that very fair outlook of what happens within the Kenya setting, particularly within the Strathmore space in Kenya. So let's thank you so much, Mr. Stephen,
Thank you
for
very
your
much.
time.
Thank you for your time.
On AAU Talks, and also sharing with us in-depthly how Strathmore is contributing to growth and development within the Kenyan setting. The end goal is just one, or where does Strathmore want to see itself and the next foreseeable period in terms of impact and growth, briefly?
Briefly, we're looking at developing more into the STEM space. We have been known, if you came to Nairobi and said, I'm going to Strathmore, they will ask you, are you going to study business or IT? So we are investing in STEM. So in our engineering school is in its 4th year now. We are looking at going into biomedical engineering. We are looking into going into medicine, for that matter, and try and influence matters in STEM. So, for example, even the research on malaria vaccine is headed by one of our persons.
Great.
So you can imagine if we were to get into that space. And of course, to internationalize, we are looking towards having more students from across Africa. So that, because we are one, I mean, I have been here for 4 days, and I felt like I was in Nairobi. Many things are the same.
Yeah.
The concerns are the same. The worries are the same.
Yeah.
So if we internationalize it, we will be able to create solutions for all of us.
Splendid.
which cut across our borders.
Splendid.
Yeah.
Splendid. On that note, we want to just say thank you so much for making time for watching AAU Talks and AAU TV. My name is Ajiman Ochudakwa, and my guest today was Mr. Stephen Gaga, Registrar for the Strathmore University in Kenya. Until I come your way next time, it's AAU Talks, the voice of higher education in Africa. Stay tuned, be safe, and bye.